நாலே அது நம்ம GT Holidays தான். GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand. You know you are special when you're with GT Holidays.
துணிகளை துவைக்க முகி அல்ட்ரா, டாய்லெட் சுத்தம் செய்ய முகி ஸ்பாட்லெஸ், ஃப்ளோர் கிளீன் செய்ய முகி வைப்அவுட், பாத்திரங்களை சுத்தம் செய்ய முகி டிஷ்வாஷ், முகி ஹோம் கேரில் கிடைக்கும்.
Do you invest in stocks or something of that sort? Or?
I haven't. I have put some money with a company that acts like your investment managers. You know, so you basically you don't need to study the stock market and all that. It's a listed company that takes care of some money for you. So that I have done. Other than that, all my money is in cinema.
Okay, you're plowing it back into cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people believe this, but when Prithviraj Productions started, I had told them that all the money that comes into Prithviraj Productions will keep going back to cinema. The money that comes to Prithviraj, the actor's account, I will buy car, travel and all that. That is exactly what is happening.
So you have got now a huge production house and you're expanding the production house into all platforms.
Yes.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, I would really like Prithviraj Productions to be a banner that, like I said, has an infrastructure and a relationship with all equity holders of the industry. All digital partners, all satellite partners, all theatres. I want to have a relationship with all equity holders of the industry. I want my company to have a very close relationship with the leading production houses of all the other industries. I'm working with Dharma, I'm working with Homecare. I want to associate with all the producers in Tamil, because I think that is how we should be in the future. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. When Rakshit called me and said, I need help to release 777 Charlie in Kerala, I said, don't even think about it. I'll take care of everything. Don't even think about it. Same with, of course, Homecare didn't need.
But what a collection for KGF 2 in Kerala.
Absolutely, it is huge. It is humongous. But frankly, then again, it is not about the film collecting and me making money. Yeah, I mean, I made money and it feels nice to make money, okay? But it is not about that. It is about Homecare Films calling me and saying, we want Prithviraj Productions.
Trust.
Exactly. Yeah. The trust and their belief that Prithviraj Productions is the banner that they should associate with, which is a huge sort of, compliment for me. And when they say that, it is up to me to make sure that I tell them, yeah, you've placed your trust correctly, you've believed correctly. And it's a start of a beautiful relationship. And I can assure you that it is not about making money for Homecare, neither is it for Prithviraj Productions. Like I said, Prithviraj Productions will always remain a standalone equity where the money that the company makes will be used to make cinema. I have enough money otherwise, so.
Yeah. And you're not interested in other real estates and other things, you would rather.
I don't know that business, the only business I know right now is of cinema. And that business I know really well.
Yeah. About A.R. Rahman coming on your sets in Jordan.
This is a huge surprise, because everybody knows how Rahman sir is very busy. The first surprise is that when we signed Rahman sir on, we had said one song and the re-recording. That's how we signed him on. And everything, even...
You heard the entire script of Aadu Jeevitham?
Yeah. Everything, to be frank, even his remuneration, everything was spoken with, one song and re-recording. He started working on the film. And then he's the one who said, no, here we should have a song. And he sent us a second song. Then later he said, that portion, instead of re-recording, we'll have a song. And he sent us a third song. And he sent all these songs before shoot because he was very particular that we shoot to the songs. And then even something like, something that we thought will just be a piece of re-recording where I'm sitting alone in the desert and I'm thinking of something. He suddenly said, no, we'll have a Bedouin track playing there. And when he was in France, working on, I think, a French film, a French production, he got a Bedouin singer to come there and sing, and he sent us a track from there. He's amazing. The kind of love he's showing the project is so amazing. We had just casually asked him, sir, would you be interested in coming and, spending some time here? And, if you want, if you want some references. At that time, he had said, let's see, Then when we went this time, he said, I'm going to Cannes, and from Cannes, I'm coming straight to Jordan. He came, he was with us for 3 days. We in fact shot a music video with him. for Aadu Jeevitham. That features Raman sir. We will release it closer to the film releasing. And all of us felt very special, when he did this, because he is one of the world's leading music directors. And when he is coming and spending so much time on a shooting set, having food with us and staying there and wanting to see the location, we suddenly felt like, wow, man, we are making something very special here, which I believe we are. So yeah, it was great.
Now, you and Mr. Mohanlal have got such a, great relationship going. Two big heroes. And your OTT film is a super duper hit.
Thankfully,
I mean, it had the maximum views for Malayalam in this 2022. And after this, when is Emburan happening?
I will start shooting in the first quarter of 2022. I will start shooting in the first quarter of 2022. When I'm going to release the film is something that I cannot commit to right now, because it requires a lot of work. It is again, I mean, I completely, as a filmmaker, I'm aware of what I'm taking on. When I did Lucifer, I had the liberty of people not knowing what I'm coming up with, or people not having any idea of me as a filmmaker. But now I have Lucifer to deal with, don't I? When I do the second part.
No, but a lot of people tell me that as a director, you have shined really well. As a, you bring elements of the commercial cinema.
Yeah, I've only done 2 films, so I still think it's way too early to be, looking at me like a great filmmaker or anything. I'm a constantly learning filmmaker. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to do Bro Daddy is for me to learn. Because as a filmmaker, I am somebody who enjoys absolute control over everything. If you speak to somebody who's worked in Lucifer, they'll tell you he's borderline. I'm borderline obsessive about what I want my actors to do.
You're a perfectionist.
No, it's not about perfection. It's about me seeing something and then me wanting everybody to give me that. And I don't know if that's the. So I've spoken to Dilish Pothan about this, and he has a method that is entirely different to this. And I think that method that Dilish adopts needs a lot of confidence on what you're doing. I don't have that, because I need what I've seen, I want to recreate. So I will go to my actors and say, no, when you say that, don't look down. When you say this dialogue, don't turn away. I'll say all that. Even to Mohanlal sir, he to me is like an elder brother, so he knows me. So even to him, I'll go and say, Chara, know that, this and all, and he'll oblige. Why I did Bro Daddy is, I realized that if I do this film, which is like a comic caper, I can't do that film my way. When you're dealing with comedy, you can't go and tell an actor, this is how I want you to react. You would much rather say, this is the situation, you have read the scene, go, do. And then I let the actors perform, and then I'm thinking, okay, what he did right there, maybe I want a more compact shot on that. That is not my style of filmmaking. My style of filmmaking is going on set with a shot division and then getting my shots. So Bro Daddy to me was a huge learning experience. So I'm sure every film I'll discover something new. Emburan is a sequel to Lucifer. Like everyone knows, it is the second part of a 3-part series. Lucifer will have a 3rd part. And it is more than the film being bigger, which it is, I think Emburan will sort of...
I'm told it's a 100 crore project.
I never commit to budgets. I tell all my producers, I tell Anthony, I've told Hombale that before we go on floor with the pre-production, my narration will be like an 8-hour long ordeal. I will sit down, make my producers and my technicians and everybody sit down, and I'll tell them everything. I'll tell them shot by shot, for this shot I want this equipment, I'll say all that. Budgeting is their responsibility. The producers need to give me what I want in the most efficient budget. I'm not a believer in spending money that is not shown on screen. I think, as a filmmaker, I should work to make sure that 10 rupees spent seems like 25 rupees on screen. So I'm not somebody who commits to budget. So I don't know what the budget of Emburan is. But it will be a big film. It will be a big film, and it will be a
pan-India film?
See, that's the thing, right? Going ahead, I think that term will cease to exist. Because going ahead, I think every major film from every industry...
That's why you went for Kadua promotion.
Exactly. I think, so like I said yesterday, don't look at this as something I'm doing for Kadua. It is something that I'm doing for the rest of my career, the beginning of a new phase. And not just my career, I think this is how now the future is going to be. I think every big film from every industry, be it Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, any industry, will now want to have legitimate dubbed versions of their films, and they'll want to promote it in every city. And it is not just about how much money you are making by doing this. It is about you spreading awareness about your work. Saying that this is, we have created this, please come and watch it. Maybe this awareness will only translate to more OTT views for the film. Even that is fine. Even that means that your work is being watched. But I think this is going to be the new norm going ahead.
So obviously stars from other language also will be featured in this film.
In which film?
Your Emburan.
I am not going to sit down and cast in a fashion where I think, okay, now I've got one from Tamil, now I need one from... I don't do that. I've never done that. To me, I am going to cast anybody who I think is suitable for the character. And I say I'm going to offer the role to the person who I think is the most suitable. Again, for Emburan, for Lucifer, I have not had to deal with thinking of a second choice, because everybody that I went to the first time around said yes to me.
Okay.
Might not be the case for Emburan. So then that is another learning process for me. Now I have already seen people in each character for Emburan. What happens is one of them says, I don't want to do this. Oh, okay, then I have to rethink, so that's going to be another learning experience for me. Yeah.
Now, the big buzz going around, you're part of Salar with Prashant Neel.
Yeah.
Did you meet him in Bangalore by any chance?
I meet Prashant now and then. Every now and then. He is like, if I'm in Bangalore and Prashant is free, or if he's in Hyderabad and I'm free, we meet up with no agenda, But yeah, I did meet Prashant for Salar. And he had given me a narration long back when the film first came to me. So I sort of, both of us sat and went through the current draft of the script. And we are trying our best to make sure that, there's some arrangement we can come to where my dates work for them. Basically, Prabhas' dates and my dates sort of work, because it's very important that when I give them a commitment, I should be very, very sure that later on I don't become a problem, for the project.
Okay.
And also, it's a big commitment. It's a big film to be shot across months. So it's not like I can go shoot it for 25 days and come back. It's not that.
You have to travel with the film.
Yeah, I have to keep giving them dates like every month, like that. But I definitely want to do it. I want to do it for multiple reasons. One, and the biggest reason of all is that I think it's a kick-ass script. Secondly, I think it's a kind of film that you really want to see Prabhas in. When I listened to the script of Salar, it was more the director in me thinking, oh, I would love to see Prabhas in this. And it's a great role for me. And I would love to share that thing with Prabhas on screen. Plus Prashant Neel,
Prashant Neel is one of India's best directors.
Absolutely, who wouldn't want to work with him? And to top it all, it's produced by Homecare, who are like
by the way, you have signed one more film with Homecare, which...
I'm directing a film for them, yes, I am. They, like I said, they are now very close friends of mine, we share similar vision and ideas about cinema. And they are amazing, the conviction and the belief they have in their craft and their skill of producing films and releasing it is amazing. If you ever get a chance, you should speak to Vijay Kragandur. And
I know him well.
Yeah, he is amazing.
Yeah. So the way it's the Prithviraj and Prabhas will work together.
Well, I'm
hoping.
Yeah, I'm also hoping. I'm also hoping. It is just that, like I said, if it were a film where I go and shoot for 40 days and come back and I'm done with it, I wouldn't have even thought of it. Like, I'm very, very particular, especially it's so many of my friends involved with it, like Prashant and Homecare. I'm very particular that once I say yes to it, I should never be a problem for them. It shouldn't be that they put up this giant set somewhere and everybody ends up waiting for me. I don't want that to happen. So
okay. Yeah. And now about Gold.
Yeah.
I think it's your Onam release or something, no?
We are hoping to hit the screens in Onam. The film is done. We've shot it entirely, and Alphonse is more or less done with the post-production.
Is it
also.
what genre would you say that film for?
Interesting. I can only call it an Alphonse Putran genre. Yeah, because you will know what I'm talking about when you see the film. It is nothing like Premam. That much I can tell you. Maybe if you want to draw a comparison, maybe it's closer to Neram, his previous film.
Yeah,
because Premam is all about love. This is not that. It's more like a fun, quirky entertainer. And he is just got that talent of seeing everything so differently. Like it might be a scene of me eating puttu and kadala, but the way he sees that scene is very different. Yeah, and I keep asking him, like, how did you come up with that? It's just somebody sitting on a table and eating puttu and kadala, but how did you come up with that? So he has that quirky thought process in him, which I think is his biggest strength as a filmmaker. I mean, he's an editor by profession. He's a wonderful filmmaker. He's a great writer. But I think his biggest strength is that he sees things differently. A lot like Lijo. Yeah, he also sees things differently.
How was it doing with Ninthara? I saw one tweet that when you couldn't attend her marriage.
I couldn't unfortunately, because I hadn't made it back to India by then. I was still on my way back to India. I mean, I know both of them very well now, Vignesh and Ninthara. They've been home. We've had dinner together and all that. We couldn't go because at that time Supriya had also come to meet me in Jordan, and we had still not made it back because my daughter wanted to see Petra and the Dead Sea and all that. So I thought I should.
After that shoot, you had a break.
I spent a week after the shoot because one, I wanted to wind down, and two, I thought it'll be nice to take my daughter and show her all these historical places. She's a bit into all that, So I hadn't made it back to India by then, so I could only wish them on phone. Maybe I'll catch up with them sometime soon. Yeah.
After Gold, what's your next release?
After Gold, my next release. Well, I'm going to start shooting a film almost.
That Kappa.
Kappa. It's called Kappa.
What is it about?
Well, Kappa is the abbreviation for the Kerala Anti-Social Activities Protection Act. So the title is a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? It is about a group of gundas in the city of Trivandrum, and the main protagonist that I play is this character called Kotta Madhu. Again, it is something that I am really looking forward to as an actor. I think I'll have a lot of fun playing it because one, I am from Trivandrum, and two, it's based on a story that I've read and I've really liked by Indu Govan. Even when I read the story, I was hoping somebody should make a film out of this, and somebody is, and I am the lead in it. And it's got a wonderful cast. It's got me, it's got Manju Warrior, it's got Asif Ali, Anna Ben, and then a host of other actors. It's a very real, rooted gangster drama. Maybe something like Satya.
Okay. The Gangs of New York, because you said it's based in Trivandrum.
True. It could be the Trivandrum version of
Gangs of. And the director is a new boy?
No, Shaji Kailas is directing it now.
Oh, Shaji Kailas is directing
Shaji Kailas is directing
So you're doing back-to-back movies with...
Yeah, that was not planned. There was a bit of a confusion. Shaji took over the project towards the final stages. But what is very, very special about that film is it is also being produced by the FEFCA Writers Union as their exercise to raise funds for the welfare of the writers in Malayalam industry.
Excellent, because Shaji Kailas knows Thiruvananthapuram like the back of his hand.
Yeah, so do I. I was born and brought up.
Oh yeah, you are born and brought up in Thiruvananthapuram. So, and Gangs of Thiruvananthapuram would be the
It's being made by a gang in Trivandrum.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Okay. You seem to be very excited when you're talking as a director. It's something from your father, Mr. Sukumaran, you took it up, because you're very excited when you talked about direction.
I am equally excited about acting in a film. It is just that when you direct a film, the responsibility is so much more. And when you direct a film, what you realize is that
you seem to be enjoying the process.
Yeah, the responsibility of the decision making is solely yours. You walk into a set every day morning at 8 a.m. There are about 300 people waiting for you to say what first to get into action. And that's a huge responsibility. There is a lot of effort, time, money, everything riding on you picking up that mic and saying, right, let's do this. I enjoy that responsibility. I enjoy that responsibility. I enjoy that sense of control. that is something I need to unlearn, you know. Yeah, I know after having done just 2 films that filmmaking is not about exercising complete control. I know that, I'm aware of it, but I enjoy that sense of control, and sometimes I'm very uncomfortable when I have to lose control of one aspect, which is something people like Anjali Menon have mastered, you know. And Anjali has spotted it in me like a T. Like when I was doing Kude, Anjali told me, "Can you float in water?" So I don't know. I can swim. I'm a certified diver. Floating, I don't know. I haven't tried. Maybe. So she said, "Try." You know, it's very difficult for me to float. And Anjali told me, "You know why? Because floating on water is about letting go of all control. I don't think you're able to do it." I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So she was very right, actually. Yeah.
Then how are you going to adjust all these films together? How Prithviraj, the one man, going to be here, there, in Trivandrum one day, and then for Salar, and then how are you managing your dates? Do you have a date manager, or you?
I don't.
Supriya takes over.
No, I don't. Supriya doesn't know where I am. Like next month. You know, she's only told me that okay, it's her birthday, so make sure that I'm free for her birthday. It is getting more difficult actually. It used to be okay because I used to just say I do one film at a time, so you know which film I'm doing now. So I come to your film after that film. So you know that when I start doing that film, oh okay, so now the next in line is this film. So I used to keep my date management as simple as that. Now, when you start doing other language films, especially giant films like Salar, what happens is, it's not shot like a Malayalam film where you start the film and you finish the entire film and you go home. So that's like shot for few days every month, you know. So then what happens is, that is when date management comes into play. I have to tell my Malayalam film, I'm going to be available for you from 5th to 20th. And then I'm going to go for 10 days there. Then I'll come back to you on 3rd and I'll give you 15 days. So that is when date management comes into play. I might do a Hindi film. You know, I've read a script, 2 scripts that I really like. The other language commitments are things that I've deliberately had to stay away from ever since Aadajeevitham started. You know, because I had to make sure that I keep myself free for one part of the year to lose weight, to grow my beard and all that. Now that that is done, you know, I want to like give myself the chance that I've been denying myself for the longest time. So yeah, how I'm going to manage time is $1 million question. Let us see.
What happens now? Malayalam cinema has been getting a lot of appreciation.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because recently a lot of films which released after Janaganamana. I'm speaking about small films.
Yes.
Not with the Prithvirajas or Mohanlals or Mammootties or anything like that. I'm talking to you about very small budget movies, but people are not coming to the theatres to watch them. What is your reaction to that? Is it a spin-off of the OTT, or what is the thing happening now in the industry? You must be knowing better.
It's a very good question. There's just one correction I'd like to make. I don't think it's got to do with the budget. Like, to quote an example, my manager, Mr. Harris Desham, produced a film in Malayalam recently called Joe and Joe.
It's a nice movie.
Yeah, it did well. It did well. It made a profit purely from the theatricals. And plus, he got a very good deal from
the OTT.
And the satellite and everything. So it's a very small film. I mean, I know because...
So what you are saying is Joe and Joe, people liked it.
No, there was something about Joe and Joe that made people think, okay, we want to go to the theatre and see this film. You know, there was something about Janeman that made people think, let's go watch this film. So it is very important that if you're making a film where you truly know that this film can only be discovered and spoken about after it releases, then maybe you shouldn't go the theatrical way. You know, if you want your film to do well in theatres, these days I think it is very important that even before the release, you create a narrative amongst the audience that, okay, this is a film that I want to go to the theatres and watch. Now, all films may not be able to do that, you know, and it's not about the budget, frankly. It's about the content, it's about how you place your film, it's about how you style your film, it's about how you narrate the marketing to the audience of the film. But it is important because what happened, I think, over the pandemic is that the viewing behavior has changed. People are okay now about watching films sitting at home. They've gotten used to that. Watching cinema, on mobile screens, on tablets, on their TV, they've gotten used to it. So if a film releases, which is a good film, but there isn't anything in it that makes you want to go to a theater, obviously people are going to wait the 4 weeks to watch it in some streaming service. They're not going to take time off their daily schedule to go to the theater and watch the film. So it is important that you create that thing about your piece of cinema that tells people, no, I'm going to find 3 hours this weekend to go and watch this film.
Yeah, but then what do you feel about the OTT growth also?
Yeah.
The streaming platforms have really taken off and given a new lease of life to Malayalam cinema.
Yeah, see, the thing is, a lot of people think it is a pandemic-induced phenomenon. I disagree. This would have happened anyway.
You feel it would have
Absolutely. This would have happened anyway. Streaming services becoming big, especially in a high-volume market like India, is a most natural progression of the evolution of the business schematics of our industry. It would have happened anyway. Yes, I agree that the pandemic sort of accelerated our journey to that point. But some people looking at it as a pandemic-induced phenomenon that now they have to deal with suddenly is wrong. We would have gotten here. Now, I know at present there is a lot of panic, saying that is this going to ruin cinema, is theatre business going to be affected? This panic will, I think, sustain for a few months, maybe a year or two, and then a structure will settle in.
So what's your answer? Your Janaganamana was a theatrical super hit.
Yeah.
But when it came on OTT, in Netflix it became #1.
Yeah.
How do you put in this? Because people have already watched in theatres, but what happens on the streaming platform?
There will be films which at a scripting level you decide, this is best made for a personal viewing experience. Put it on a streaming service, and those films will be made at that budget, at that scale and all that. Then there will be films which this has to be a big screen film, this has to release in theatres, maybe this has to have an IMAX version, it has to be shot in 3D maybe. Those films obviously will be the films that feed the theatrical business, much like the US, much like the rest of the world market. And that bifurcation will happen, and that is wonderful. It is great for artists, for directors, for actors, for everyone. And then slowly people will start conditioning themselves to realizing that one is not inferior to the other. They're just two different types of cinema. And there will be big stars doing both. There will be big directors doing both. I believe Sanjay Leela Bhansali is doing a series for Netflix,
But are you producing anything just for the OTT platforms, like after the success of Bro Daddy?
Well, you are the first person that I'm saying this to. I am in discussions with a leading international platform to do a series in Malayalam.
Wow.
And and we have reached the developmental stage, which is like the stage 2 of the production. So if the developmental stage goes through and I'm happy with the scripting and the network is happy with the scripting, then maybe you will see a Malayalam series with Prithviraj Productions.
Prithviraj Productions, but you may not be acting.
I may not be acting in it, yeah.
And how open are you to funding Malayalam films? Like you said, Joe and Joe, like that kind of film?
I already have facilitated funding for many Malayalam films. I am more than open to doing it, but I'll still have to be convinced about the film. I'm presenting a film called Kumari that Nirmal Sahadev is directing. You will see the Prithviraj Productions logo on that film also, because I'm presenting the film, which means I make sure that they're okay finishing shoot and releasing, and I structure the deal for them. I'm more than open to doing it, but like I said, the prerequisites will remain the same as me producing or acting in a film. I need to be convinced that this is a film that I want to see.
So in Malayalam also, actors are doing, they are in all the platforms, that is theatrical, OTT, distribution at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
Do you think this will also be a new trend like going on?
It is just us slowly, realizing that we don't need intermediaries anymore. We don't need agents to speak to satellite partners for our satellite deals. We don't need agencies to come and strike our digital deals and take a commission. We don't need distribution agencies to take my piece of cinema to the theaters. I can do it myself. You know? So it is just the age of the intermediaries, I think, in cinema are over. Now it's everybody doing business, dealing business directly, which is good. And yeah, I believe as a production house, as an actor, as an artist, it is very good to have an infrastructure where if you listen to a script and you like it, you know, okay, I like the script, and it is not attached to a producer. You don't need to be waiting for a producer or anything. You can fund the film, you can do it, you can shoot it, you can release it, you can do your digital deal, you can do your satellite deal. You don't need a third person's, you know, help, or you don't need to wait for somebody to come and fund the film. That gives people like me, Dulka, Fahad, Nivin, all of us a lot of liberty.
Bill, you act in a film with DQ and Fahad and all that.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. I mean, if a script comes along where all of us think that this, you know, we should be doing this together, I would love to. I mean, we meet each other very often.
Yeah.
So all three of us are friends. All three of us would love to be in a film together.
Do you invest in stocks or something of that sort? Or?
I haven't. I have put some money with a company that acts like your investment managers, you know. So you basically, you don't need to study the stock market and all that. It's a listed company that takes care of some money for you. So that I have done. Other than that, all my money is in cinema.
Okay, you're plowing it back into cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people believe this, but when Prithviraj Productions started, I had told them that all the money that comes into Prithviraj Productions will keep going back to cinema. The money that comes to Prithviraj, the actor's account, I will buy car, you know, travel and all that. That is exactly what is happening.
Holidays nale, adu namma GT Holidays da. GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand. You know you are special when you're with GT Holidays.
துணிகளை துவைக்க முகி அல்ட்ரா, டாய்லெட் சுத்தம் செய்ய முகி ஸ்பாட்லெஸ், ஃப்ளோர் கிளீன் செய்ய முகி வைப் அவுட், பாத்திரங்களை சுத்தம் செய்ய முகி டிஷ்வாஷ், முகி ஹோம் கேரில் கிடைக்கும்.